a good Mars strategy, I think, as it's evolving in my mind, can employ semi-cycling orbits. Some people have developed some really interesting ones that are space-based for 4 months in between their cycle around Mars and back, where you can drop off people and pick them up on the same mission. And then, of course, the regular continuous cycler that gets you there in 4 months, five months, excuse me, or a little more. And then I believe that I'm trying to become a salesman for permanence on Mars, not just a visit of 6 people for a period of time or some intermediate stay, but I think we're going to, I hope we're going to see settlements right from the very beginning, after we visited the moons of Mars and maybe after some asteroids. Who knows what the political winds will bring us in the way of support from the people for exploration and the continuity and the long-term support that's needed to have something that's not just a pell-mell rush to accomplish some objective, but we can maybe lay out significant objectives in 4-year increments when we put somebody new in the White House. It's a very crucial time right now, brought about by the Columbia accident. Before that accident, we were going to fly the orbiter until 2020 or 2025. I've even seen 2040 mentioned, and that would have been a sorry period, I believe, because after the Apollo program, we used Apollo hardware for Skylab 3 missions to a big space station, and then we flew Apollo Soyuz. But then we were committed to a shuttle that was not too flexible in its definition. So we didn't fill the gap appropriately. It went almost 6 years, while Russia was flying one Salyut mission after another. We were not that flexible. Many of us feel that instead of defining a shuttle, it was underfunded, or we didn't really understand that fully what it should be and what it could do. This is hindsight, that we could have flown Skylab 2 and joined the 2 together and flown 6 people in Apollo command modules on Saturn 1s up into the 80s until we really knew what was going on. Well, we didn't do that. There weren't that many smart people then who could understand what was happening. I hope there are some smart people today, because we have a gap, and I don't think we're filling it the right way, and I don't believe we're as flexible as we should be after being forced into a change that was defined relatively early at the beginning of a second-term re-election year. The president, whose election in the first term went to the Supreme Court, decided that he was going to commit the nation early in '04, an election year, to decades and decades of change and billions of dollars of reallocated direction of our space program. And I think it was a wise decision to do then. He could have sat on his hands and done nothing. And a lot of politicians will do this rather than become controversial. But that wasn't the case. So we have a vision that says we're going to do what we can in organizing the retirement of the shuttle, finishing the space station, going on, defining something new, and going to the moon in preparation to go to Mars and beyond. Now, that in preparation at the moon, I think, has to be very carefully thought out. It's real easy to establish a taxpayer-funded bureaucracy where we're spending for habitation on a not too pleasant place in comparison to Mars, instead of leaving the cost of habitation up to commercial development of the lunar resources, if we can. If we can't, then we need robots on the moon, and we'll go fix them when we need to. We need robots at the space station too, but that's, having invested so much, $100 billion so far in the space station, we've got to show the public we're getting something out of it, rather than talking to a robot up there or hiring a European or Japanese to do our experiments for us. So everything gets complicated by politics and trying to recover some from the past.